Hi, welcome back to Trina Talks. If you're new here, I'm your host, Trina. And basically, this is a podcast where I talk about anything and everything from relationships to fashion to advice to boys to literally anything you can think of. I'd probably talk about it. Today, I kind of want to talk about a more specific topic, which is the fear of starting something new. Because obviously, at some point in your life, you gotta try something new. Whether it's something small or something big. And obviously, that can be really scary. My whole life, I've always had a fear of trying something new, of having to go outside of my comfort zone. And this summer, I really pushed myself in ways that I didn't even think that I could when it came to trying new things. For example, I picked up an internship for my major, which if you didn't know, I'm a graphic design major. And basically in the meetings, I had to take turns and lead the meetings, which is basically you lead in front of your whole team as well as your boss and the CEO of the company, which made me want to pee my pants. And the first time I did it, when I say it went bad, it went so bad. The round table discussion, basically a round table is what you're going to discuss and what timestamps you're going to do it at. Basically, the round table that I had was completely wrong, and my boss hated everything and anything that I had to say. And I was like, oh, cool. This is, a really good start. So then I tried again, and obviously I had this big fear in my head both times because I was very nervous to try something new, and I was very nervous to do something again when it went so bad the first time. And the second time went so much better. I've done a lot of things like that this summer that I feel have really made me try new things, get outside my comfort zone, and honestly, a lot of life skills, that I feel I kind of needed to get. So if you're in a position right now, let's say maybe you're getting ready to go back to school, maybe you're going to start college in the fall, maybe you're starting high school, maybe you're going into, your senior year, whatever it is that's kind of giving you a fear in your head right now, I want you to think about it, okay? Sit down and really think about it for a second and ask yourself, why am I scared, right? After you ask yourself that, I want you to ask yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen? I'm going to bet you 9 out of 10 times that whatever you're going to say is the worst that can happen is not that bad. And chances are you doing that is part of the process, and anyone who's been in the same position as you has also done that. Let's say it's going to college, right? And you're scared of, feeling homesick. I can guarantee you that everyone at college has felt homesick at some point. So that's just a step that comes along with it. And you're going to face it at one point or another. So you might as well just give it a try. You might as well go into it feeling very confident and knowing that your fear might come true at some point. But that's not a now problem. That's a later problem. And when that fear, if it does comes true, then worry about it then. And be okay, I'm going to take a step back. I'm gonna breathe. How can I fix this? And just don't let it stress you that much. I'm such a person who stresses so much about every little thing. And I'm constantly pushing myself to be better, which isn't a bad thing. But at the same time, I feel I give myself no room to breathe, Between I have pretty bad anxiety when it comes to a lot of things. So being very anxious, or I'm very anxious based around things that are making sure that I'm living up to the expectations for myself, or the expectations that I think others have for me, which by the way, most of the time they're non-existent, they're just in my head. So if you're the same way, those expectations that you think everyone has for you, they're probably not actually there. But yeah, so I'm very in my head all the time, and I forget to just take a minute and breathe, And when I came home from college for the summer, I was okay, I have these things that I want to do. And I made a list, and I was this is all the things I want to do. And I broke it down to steps of how I'm going to do it. Because I was having just let's say, find an internship on my to-do list felt huge. And it felt I was searching and searching and searching. And I was just getting so overwhelmed by having this giant thing on my to-do list that just says find internship. So I broke it down into smaller parts. I said, okay, we're going to download this app and see what internships we can find. We're going to reach out to this company, see if they're hiring interns. We're going to reach out to this professor, whatever it is, blah, 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 right? You get the point. Basically, I broke down all my steps, and it made me kind of get rid of that fear. It made me feel so much better and so much more confident, because going into it, I was okay, I got this. I crossed off step 1, let's do step 2, step 3, so on, until you literally get to your end goal. And I accomplished so much this summer because of that. I hit 860 subscribers on YouTube. For a lot of people, that might not be that much, but this summer, I had started my YouTube channel with just hitting 600 subscribers. And I basically put in the work. I got over the fear of posting because honestly, I will admit, it might not seem like I care what I post a lot, but I do have a fear of what people think about me. And I definitely have a fear of posting new content or maybe posting something a little different than I normally post, you know, like I've tried out a few things. I've tried out short films, I've tried out get ready with me's, I've tried out vlogs, like whatever it is. And I definitely have that fear in my head of like, oh, what if people don't like this? Or what if people think about me differently? And I was like, you know what? This is my summer to lock in. This is my time. I'm going to push all those thoughts aside and just go for it. Like, what do you want to do? That's the question. What do you want to do? It doesn't matter what they want you to do. It doesn't matter what they think. What do you think? Are you happy with what you're doing? Are you happy with where you are? If yes, then great. If no, then change it. Take those steps that you need to take. Get over those fears that you need to become that you want to become. Because at the end of the day, it's not about those people. It's not their life. It's your life. You're the person that wakes up with yourself every day. You're the person who goes to sleep every night knowing what you did throughout the day to get better or to not get better. That's you. That's not on them. They're not seeing those little steps. For example, I was waking up every morning between like 7 and 9 a.m. and going for runs and walks and doing all my workouts and stuff, and most of the time nobody saw them. I would post one on my story like every once in a while, but people literally saw 1% of my workouts this summer, and that's okay because I did it for me and I didn't do it for them. And that was the first time I think that I've truly felt like that, because I feel like most of my life I spent so much time thinking like, oh, I need to post what I'm doing, or I need to tell people what I'm doing so like, you know, they can know that I'm trying my best. No, it's not about them knowing that you're trying your best. It's about you knowing you're trying your best. And that took me so long to learn. So if this could help you and you need to hear that, please take it, because I wish I learned it sooner, because it really changed my entire mindset. Because I was like, okay, I know that I'm trying my best, so whatever I get done throughout the day is what matters, right? And I know how hard I tried for that, or if I chose to take the whole day off and just lay in bed, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I can't be mad at myself for that, you know what I mean? Because I know that I did that and I was the one who didn't hold myself accountable. So like, just basically the whole point of that is don't care what people think, because everyone's always going to have an opinion on you, whether you want them to or not, and whether it's actually valid or not. And I also heard this quote that I feel like really hit home for me, and it was basically like, someone above you will never judge you for what you're doing or how hard you're working, but someone below you will. And when I thought about it, and I was like, okay, let me think about all the people who have like hated on me, or, you know, said mean things to me, or said like, why are you doing this? You can't do it, whatever. I was like, wow, they really all are below me. And you literally can see it. Like, think about all the people who hate on you. Chances are their grades aren't as good as yours. Maybe they don't put as much effort into their sports. They don't have any hobbies. They don't have any dreams. All of this stuff. And I was like, that's crazy, because truly someone who's doing more than you is never going to hate on you, because they were once you. Like, if I saw someone who was just starting out with, let's say, content creating, I am never going to hate on them. I'm going to uplift them, because I know how hard that is to break out of your shell and start doing something like that. Like, you are literally exposing yourself to millions of people. Do you know how terrifying that is? Of millions of people's possible opinions on you and your life and what you do and what you look like. It's a lot. It can be a lot. And I've had some crazy things happen that I'm like, I truly, like, if that's what this person wants, I'm gonna uplift them. I'm gonna give them tips if they want it. If they want to talk, I'll be like, my DMs are always open. Because why would you want to tear someone down? To me, that makes no sense ever. Why people ever like to do that? Like, genuinely, I will never tear someone down. And I see the people that have torn me down, and I'm like, why do you think you're even in a place to tear me down right now? I'm like, because I've gotten further than you ever will, and that's just because I'm trying. You don't even try. Like, these people that hate on me, I'm like, you have no ambitions, you have no dreams, you're not trying to achieve anything, so how are you going to be over here and hate on me, you know? So don't be that person, but do be the person that uplifts others. If you are very talented at, let's say, piano, right, and you have a friend who wants to start to learn piano, uplift them, try to help them. Don't be like, oh no, like, you could never be as good as me or whatever. Like, no, everyone's a beginner at something at some point. Like, whatever you're good at, you were a beginner at some point, whether it was a long time ago or not, whether it was hard for you or not. Like, everything that I have worked on has been hard for me. I like to call myself a jack of all trades and a master of none, because I truly have done a lot of stuff, but I wouldn't say I've excelled in anything, and anything that I have done has taken so much effort of me trying, and I still never really saw like full results, right? Like, I've never been amazing at anything, but that's what makes it so cool, because I've tried so many different things, and I'm going to continue to do so, and I might not be perfect at any of them at all, and there's definitely so many more people that are better than me in everything that I do, but like, I'm glad because I got to experience it, you know, and I did it for me because I wanted to. I also have people tell me, and they'll be like, oh, Trina, like, you're so hardworking, or you're so consistent, blah, blah, blah. And they're always like, how do you do it? For the longest time, I didn't really know how to answer that question because, to be honest, I was never really that consistent with anything until the summer. Like, I had a hard time sticking to anything, actually keeping a schedule, whatever. And I was thinking about it now, and I was like, what is it that I do? And do you know what I do? I repeat in my head over and over. I say, how bad do you want it? And my answer is always the same. I really want it. Whatever it is, if I want to be a really good dancer and I'm trying to work out or I'm trying to learn to dance and I'm having a hard time, I'm struggling, maybe today's not my best day, I'm feeling a little weak, whatever. I'm like, how bad do you really want it? And I'm like, I really want it. Like, I want it really bad. I want to be the best dancer that I can be. You know what I mean? Might not be the best dancer in the room at all, but I can be the best dancer that I can be. And I think about that all the time, and it's literally what replays in my head. Like, I wish people could see that because it sounds like I'm kidding. It might sound cheesy, but like, it's genuinely what I do. And it's genuinely what gets me out of bed in the morning. Because I wake up, say it's 8 a.m., right? And I'm like, okay, do I go back to sleep or do I go for my run? And I'm like, well, how bad do you want it? I'm like, bad. And then I get up and I go for my run. Because if you really want something, that will be enough to get you out of bed in the morning. That will be enough to get you to do what you have to do to get it. And I think people don't understand that. Like, you have to find what it is that makes that little light in your head to be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this because I want this. Whatever it is, right? That can be anything. It could be good grades. It could be a job that you want, a career that you want. It can be being a better athlete, whatever it is. If you want it, you can get it. Anyone's capable of doing it. Anyone is capable of trying. It's a matter of how hard you're willing to try, because those times that get hard, that's when it matters the most, because you could give up right then. But if you keep going, that's going to make you 10 times stronger for the next time that comes around. And it truly does. Like, I quit all the time in the beginning of the summer, and I went through like a bad breakup, I would say. And during that, I was like, trying to do my thing, still trying to be consistent. And I had to kind of take a break. And when I came back, it was so hard for me and I kept wanting to quit. But every time that I didn't quit, then the next time that I felt like quitting, it was so much easier to convince myself not to. You know what I mean? Like, I just had like a little bit more of that strength inside of me, a little more of that fire inside of me. And that's what's going to keep you going, because at the end of the day, like I said, you only have you. It doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, if you're married, if you're single, if you have a pet, if you have a sibling, whatever it is, truly at the end of the day, you are stuck with your own mind. You are stuck in your own mind. So you only have you. You only have yourself to hold yourself accountable. You only have yourself to know that you have to get done what you want to get done. And I think people sometimes forget that. Like, they're like, oh, but I don't have it in me. But you do. Because you're not always going to have someone there to hold your hand. You're not always going to have someone there to tell you what to do or how to do it. Sometimes it's going to come down to you. And don't get me wrong, like, having people there to help you is great. And if you have that, definitely take advantage of that. But some people don't have that. I don't have any dancers near me in my life. So I have to do it all entirely on my own. I have to hold myself accountable. I have to learn choreography by myself, whatever it is, but I'm willing to do it because I want it. And at the end of the day, I know that I will go to bed and I will be like, wow, I really didn't learn that dance that I wanted to learn, or really didn't try my best today. And I'm going to be disappointed in myself because I'm like, what are you doing? You can do better. I know you can do better because I know that you want it. Versus other people might just be like, oh, that's okay, try again tomorrow. Because they don't get it. They don't know how bad you want. They don't know that you want to try so hard. And sometimes you just have a hard time trying so hard. So you just need to try. And I know that sounds like, well, duh, but just keep trying until it gets a little bit easier every time, to just keep doing the same thing to build this consistency to get where you want to be. And something that kind of goes along with this topic is I look around at some of the people that I know, some people that I went to high school with, some people that like maybe I met a little after high school, and I'm like, I look at them and they haven't changed since I met them. And I don't mean like physically changed or even mentally changed fully, but like they haven't changed anything. They're so stuck inside this bubble, inside this box. And like, I get it, it's comfortable, but once you get outside of your comfort zone is when things really start to change and really start to make a difference. Because I look at these people and I'm like, are you even happy? Like, are you happy with doing the same thing every day that you've done for years? Because I know I'm not. I don't like that. I like to try new things. I like to get outside my comfort zone, go new places. When I graduate, you better bet that I'm gonna travel and maybe even go live somewhere else for a little bit, because I'm tired of being in the same place surrounded by the same people with the same mindset. No one around me where I live pretty much has the mindset of, I want this and I have this drive, I have this ambition, I have these dreams. No, they're all just like so stuck in the present moment, which, don't get me wrong, is not a bad thing. That's something I could definitely work on, because I feel like I'm really not good at living in the moment, but also I feel like they're too in the moment. Like, they're not paying attention to their future or what they could be doing to get the future that they could have, if that makes sense, right? Like I see people who have these talents and they just push them aside because they're like, oh no, I'd rather not put in the work right now, I'm just gonna do this. But you putting in the work right now is what is gonna get you the future that at some point you're gonna want, you know? So you might as well start putting in the work now. And I feel like a lot of people just don't quite grasp that concept, and to me that's wild. But you know, like also to each their own. So I don't know, I feel like I got very passionate about this topic, so I kind of ranted a little bit there. But basically, like, what I'm trying to say is, if you want to do something, go for it. Don't let the fear stop you. The fear of other people, the fear of not being good enough, whatever it is, just go for it. I believe in you, and you should believe in yourself too. Because truly, as a human being, you're capable of doing anything and everything that you want to. It's just a matter of how hard you're willing to try to get that. So truly, whatever it is, you got this. Just take a minute, take a deep breath, and just be like, it's okay. I got this, and whatever is meant for me is gonna happen, because that is a quote that I live by. It's been my quote all of this year, and I think about it every day, and I'm like, there's no point stressing about this, because I'm like, whatever is meant for me is gonna happen for me. It is what it is, you know? So take that minute, take that deep breath, because you got this. Alright, that was my little rant thing. I don't know how long this episode even turned out to be, because I ranted a ton. I'm trying to make the episodes a little longer, because usually they're a little shorter, but I have some exciting guests coming on soon, so stay tuned for that. And also, when this episode comes out, I'm so close to leaving for college, which is so nerve-wracking, and it's so scary, because I'm going into my junior year, and I'm just like kind of nervous to go back, because I'm also rejoining my school's dance team, which is a lot of pressure. I've been working on stuff a lot for that this summer, so I'm kind of scared about that. But, you know, like I said, whatever's meant for me will happen for me, and we got this. So I hope you guys are having a great day, great night, wherever you are. Make sure to drink some water. Make sure to get your body moving, whether it's a walk, some yoga, some stretches, whatever it is, you do you. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye!